Go woke, go broke just claimed another victim, and it's none other than the Cracker Barrel CEO. We called her the Cornbread Karen. Julie has been kicked to the curb. But, folks, that's not all. It turns out that companies going woke are now swerving away, trying to find any possible way to say, nope, we're going back to the strength of our brands. We're looking for a brand new day where we can stand on the power of what made people love us in the first place. Is it Bud Light 2.0? Why, yes, it is actually, and we have the details for you. Cracker Barrel has just kicked away their CEO. She's gone away after a year of awful, terrible decision-making, and nothing could save her from trying to blendify and wokeify the house that Uncle Herschel built. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider. And guess what? You can click it. Stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. You know, we had a lot of fun last year with the Cornbread Karen. Julie Massino is her name. She is the Cracker Barrel CEO, and I just want to let you know she's been let go, and we know why. We've been mocking this for a while. I want you to hear how she sounds when she was on Good Morning America in 2025, bragging about the blandification, the wokeification of the brand that is Cracker Barrel.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite.
Give us another soundbite. But what did she sound like afterwards when she went on with Glenn Beck and she was in Nashville, Tennessee, trying to save her derriere and stay the cornbread queen?
Were you surprised you weren't fired?
I feel like I've been fired by America.
We went from, let me give you another soundbite. I'd like to talk to you about what we're doing with the blandification of our brand, to, I feel like I've been fired by America. Yeah. Oh, chameleon she was. NBC News now has this one. Cracker Barrel CEO replaced 1 year after rebrand triggered customer backlash.
Course, after eliminating its old-timer style logo and then rolling out a new minimalist design, long-time Cracker Barrel customers were outraged. Sales dropped immediately. Even President Trump weighed in, urging the company to go back to the old logo. Take a listen to how outgoing CEO Julie Massino put it on the Glenn Beck podcast.
We've already heard that. Let's skip ahead. All right. She says she's got fired. Okay. A little bit more.
Oh, the CEO a year later is out, right?
Yeah, and it's really surprising timing here, Tom, because just 6 weeks ago, Cracker Barrel raised its profit forecast. They said operations have been improving. They said guest satisfaction was up, that loyalty memberships were growing. So basically, the turnaround plan was starting to work, and now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the CEO is out, and that's...
Oh, I can't imagine why, and I can't imagine why the narrative is now going to be, she fixed it. She fixed it, and all of the stuff that happens as we go forward now is going to be like, shit, it was because of her. It's not because of the new guy. PR Wire has this. It's where they put the press releases for these corporations. Cracker Barrel announces CEO secession. Says David Dino, appointed next CEO. He's an Outback Steakhouse man. They brought in the Outback Steakhouse man. And Julie is going to get her golden parachute as long as she stays on until October to be an advisor, a consultant, et cetera, et cetera. But we got a new guy. Guys, I'm going to take the victory lap on this. I hate it for the lady who's been kicked to the curb. But Lauren, we knew this was going to happen. It was a matter of time. The stock, maybe it trickled up a little bit, but this is what happens to smaller companies, AKA not Disney. When they go woke, they go broke every single time. Disney's big enough that they can take the hit and then they subsidize all the losses with Disney World, which now is suffering itself. But smaller companies like Cracker Barrel can't afford to do what Disney does. They went woke, they went broke. Lauren, it's another one bites the dust.
Yeah, I'm sure glad they took some effort to put out that fire they started. And that's the real issue here. You're going to Cracker Barrel not just for the food, but for the atmosphere. There's a particular vibe that you're going there for. It is designed to be homey and make you feel like you're at your grandmother's or your aunt's place in the country. And when you want to turn it into something else, a modern minimalist little place with mimosas in the morning, you're catering to wine moms, not to people who want to get back to their childhood country home.
That's exactly right. Andy, they were doing all kinds of crazy things at Cracker Barrel. They stopped making the food fresh. They changed the menu completely. Suddenly, it wasn't the country cooking or whatever it is that you're going to Cracker Barrel for. Suddenly, they were trying to be, like every one of these other little breakfast hubs that's opening up, these little places. What is it? First Watch? Is that the name of the one that's led the way on this? Yeah. So, Andy, it turns out that people were not interested in beignets. They wanted their biscuits. And hip hip hooray, Cornbread Karen is out of there, even though they tried to save her derriere for so long. Your thoughts, Andy, on yet another go woke, go broke, Jaguar, Bud Light, Cracker Barrel?
I don't have sympathy for her or Alyssa Heinerschleit with their famous Bud Light debacle.
By the way, Andy, did you know that Cracker Barrel, the rebrand, they hired the Bud Light people to do the rebrand? So this was literally the Bud Light people that did it.
Well, I mean, there's a certain what was the William F. Buckley once said, I think it was him, that there's some ideas that are so stupid only a college graduate could conceive of them. These people have gone to school so long, they've never really dealt with the real world. They don't know the brand. They don't know the people, their customers who go there. You're going there because you want a laid back, old time feel to relax. You want good, country food, and to polish it into some kind of bland, identityless thing. It's amazing that these people that are so obsessed with identity take away the identity of the things that we love because they can't tolerate it. They don't have control over it. Now, I don't know if the buying public at large, whether their tastes are diminishing or whether it's like, it could just be the sheer cost and expense of eating out these days because, well, I remember when the minimum wage went up to $15 an hour and everybody said what a good thing it was. And all these places now are replacing servers with robots and they're the places are closing up because nobody can afford a burger anymore. And
who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, well, it's anybody that took an economics class would have understood this. But of course, we don't do that. We just think with our emotions. So hopefully we'll see a turnaround and that in the hiring practices. And I have friends of mine that are in corporate America, and they are saying a lot of the DEI things are being reversed because it's costing them great deals of money.
I believe that. It looks like it did with Cracker Barrel. Wiz, are you able to see the chart on the screen?
Yes, okay. I can.
Wiz, I think I know why she's gone. I'll explain. But I do want to say the crazy thing about Cracker Barrel, if you look at this chart, is that Cracker Barrel, what they wanted to do is they wanted to expand into the Pacific Northwest. So they started going into Northern California, Oregon, Washington, etc. And as they did so, what they were determining through their focus groups was that they were uninterested in some of the Southeastern cooking styles and the foods, right? And so rather than say, all right, well, in these Cracker Barrels that are in this area, we're going to geographically lock this into being a little bit of a different cell. We're going to have a different menu for this region. Instead, Cracker Barrel said, we're going to change all the stores to chase after this one geographic region, which is crazy because they were doing so well in so many places all across the USA, but they wanted this extra region and they said, we're going to change everything to get there. Okay. That's what starts the slide that you see on the chart there, going all the way back a couple years or 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. We get the slide down. Wiz, what I think cost her job is that, yes, they did get a slight bump. They got a little bit of a turnaround, but it plateaued. They've been plateaued now, and this stock needs to get back up to where it was in 2022. It's not going in that direction. It's not, no financial advice, but it's just down here. And down here is not where they're supposed to be. They're not supposed to be where they were in September of 2025. They're supposed to be on the upwards move. That didn't happen, and thus she had to get the boot. Your thoughts, Wiz?
Yeah, I remember when we covered this here on your show last year when all this controversy happened. I have not been to a Cracker Barrel since then. Now, I understand that they rolled things back and it was like, oh, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're going to roll some things back. The damage is done. You've played your hand. We know who you are now. And I think there's a lot of people that just feel similarly. And a lot of people haven't gone back. And there's just, the more we've learned about, like, Cracker Barrel is done. I think in the populace, like unless you're driving by, and which was the original clientele, you're driving by and it's like, oh, let's try the Cracker Barrel. It's okay. We're it's a road trip restaurant. It's not something you go to for beignets or like the First Watch, as we said earlier. But I think once we learned about like the inner machinations of this company, I'm like, I'm not interested anymore. What I didn't even know until last year when we covered it, I didn't even know that Cracker Barrel was on the stock market. I didn't know that. And now that I know that, now when you walk in that old timey vibe, that's all fake. It's all super fake.
Right.
It's, you think it's like the old timey kind of store, and they just have some of these tchotchkes and stuff that you don't really see everywhere. It's a unique experience, you'd think. But now that I know that it's corporate, it's fake.
So what would you do?
Fake.
If you were hired to be the CEO, what would you do, Wiz, to fix this? Because you say it's done, it's over. I got you. It's facing Buc-ee's. It's an interstate stop that was suddenly selling alcohol, which is stupid because you're an interstate stop. How do they fight Buc-ee's? How do they prove they're authentic again?
I don't think you can. The amount of money you would need to invest to compete with Buc-ee's, which is a place that people will when they have to take a leak, they will hold it for miles on end to get to the Buc-ee's.
That's
because
right.
They know what they're going to get.
Hold it for the beaver.
Quality, you gotta yes, but also the food quality at the Buc-ee's is great. Everything that this woman has done, and maybe it's not just her, but her leadership team, her surrounding her, the leaders inside this company have been cutting corners like crazy. They just have. The prices have been going up. The quality of the food has declined, and that was before all of the like marketing nonsense happened last year. Like this is a company that. Once I learned that BlackRock owns 15%, BlackRock's the majority shareholder on Cracker Barrel. Well, I'd rather just go somewhere else. I just don't care. What can I do? There is nothing I could do. I don't have any ideas that could fix this company.
Wow. So if there's anybody who could do it, I would think it would be you, Wiz. You got the magic touch.
You're going to need somebody really smart to come in, and they are going to have to spend a fortune. But unfortunately, we've seen behind the curtain. We've seen that they're just a corporation that's wanting to play ball in the Californian-esque markets. And that doesn't work for the rest of middle America. That doesn't work for the Eastern South.
I'll tell you what I'd do.
Play to them.
I've got an idea, okay? Because listen, they got to do something. And you say they're toast. You say they're cooked. I got it. But if you're the CEO, what could you do to start fixing things? And I say you could get rid of the alcohol, which is going to be super unpopular with your investors in the short term, but long term, it's a wise decision. Get rid of the alcohol and bring back the giant frosted mugs with the root beer and the lemonade and all that stuff that was great that you couldn't get anywhere else. These huge frosted mugs that they used to have. Do that. Go back and start showing people we're determined to recapture that nostalgia that you were supposed to have when you came in here. Do that.
Well, talking to the point about the alcohol with the investors, these investors don't know what they're talking about then if they're going to be upset about removing the alcohol. Alcohol consumption is down, especially with the youth. Alcohol is down.
It's an interstate stop. You can't drink and do an interstate stop.
They tried catering, whereas Buc-ee's understood exactly what it's supposed to be, which is people are driving in. You may never see those exact people again, but you'll catch the next people driving by. And that's what it should be. That's what Cracker Barrel should be. They decided to make themselves more of the town that we are in. We are catering to that very specific town. And that's not what Cracker Barrel's business is. They tried to change the entire business and it crippled the business.
You know what Buc-ee's, their business model is, in my opinion, what if we gave people Bellagio style restrooms on the interstate, and then as they leave, after they've had the most wonderful restroom experience of their life, what if we said, oh, by the way, here's fresh barbecue?
Yeah.
Lauren, you're just realizing that's what the Buc-ee's pitch is?
I don't know that I would. You know what? I'm just going to leave it there.
Lauren, there are paintings in the bathroom.
I have been there. I've been inside the bathrooms at Buc-ee's many times now.
The only person unimpressed with Buc-ee's restrooms is Marvin with his Japanese toilet. He always says to me, "Why don't the Buc-ee's toilets talk to me?" And I say, "What's going on with you, man? What's going on with you?"
He might have a point, but Buc-ee's is still great.
Oh, welcome to Buc-ee's. You big boy, come and sit down. You know, when you stick around for the entire video, it really does help the channel. And we're so appreciative of that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that you would stick around and hear everything we have to say. The studio is glistening because you're listening each and every day. If you're not yet subscribed, well, you should be. And click that like button. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.